Hello and welcome to the All Rookie Podcast. I'm your host, William Harris, aka William is Bill. So glad to be back with you guys. We wrapped up the second round of the NBA draft, and it was a wild one, ladies and gentlemen. This was all over the place, but it was fun and it was completed. That's all I can say. A lot of trades, a lot of craziness. The biggest trade of the night, probably, that did not involve players prospects from this draft necessarily was Isaiah Stewart was traded from the Detroit Pistons to the Memphis Grizzlies for 3 second-round picks. But other than that, everything was pretty much people moving up, people moving back. So without any further ado, let's get straight to it like it's nothing to it. With the 31st pick in the draft, the Rockets traded up. It was the Knicks pick. Yes, the Knicks moved back again, and the Rockets selected Bruce Thornton, big point guard from Ohio State. I'm a fan of his game, 6'2". I had him borderline being drafted, not because of talent, just because of he was a senior and he's 6'1", 6'2". Everything else is great. Bulkier point guard that can back his man down, can shoot the lights out, really good prospect. So the Rockets, I think they made a nice selection there. I don't think they needed to trade up. Because they were still going to be good players at 39, but they did. Oh, well, they got the guy they wanted. So it was all good. 32 on the rankings, the 32nd selection, there we go, for the Memphis Grizzlies was Richie Saunders. And that was a nice selection right there. Because in the second round, they were taking a lot of players. They weren't taking the best talent in the second round. Let me just put it like that. They were taking players to fit position, need, and money. So I think Richie Saunders, to me, 59th ranked prospect. He tore his ACL in February. He's probably going to miss the whole year or close to it. But very smart player, good shooter, good size, nice hold for Memphis. Memphis is not going to win anything this year, so they'll have him for the next season. And so that's not a bad pick at all, getting a talented player that they can sit on for a minute. Pause. You know what I'm saying? All right, 33. The 33rd selection was Minnesota, and the trade that they did for Julius Randle. They moved back from 28 to 33. They ended up getting Isaiah Evans from Duke, a player that I had ranked 17th. They got him at 33, and he fits perfectly with the Timberwolves. Great guard, and he can come in and shoot the lights out. He could probably get minutes for this team next year. Dante DiVincenzo is not there, so Isaiah Evans can fill a role, and he's 33rd. So yes, he fell, but it's not like he fell to the 40s or 50s. He's still an early second-round pick, basically a first-round pick, and there's a chance he can get minutes with this Minnesota team. A lot of teams should have selected Isaiah Evans. He's a very valuable player, a very valuable piece to a team, and he's only going to get better. Like, very good selection right there by Minnesota. So they didn't lose anything by moving back those 5 picks. The next selection, another team took advantage. The Cavaliers traded up to 34 to select Malik Thomas. And I had Malik Thomas as my 25th ranked prospect. He fell out of the first round to 34. So that's back-to-back huge values from the Timberwolves and the Cavs. And Malik Thomas may not play as much, obviously, on the Cavs. They are a playoff team. They have Spider. They have James Harden. But he may be able to sneak some minutes in there. Like I said, 34 is a pretty high pick as well. He's got the talent. Should have been a first rounder. It's just a matter of him fitting in their system. But yeah, if he was on a bad team, of course, he would play a lot more, get to show a lot more. He may be reduced tremendously on the Cavs until Harden is injured or resting or past his prime. So 35, the Nuggets selected Trevon Brazile. He's a guy I had in the 40s, really nice prospect, but mainly an athlete. So, he's 6'9" from Arkansas, 13.7 boards, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks. So very long, tall, skinny athlete. He can help a team mainly defensively and athletically, but he's going to need some developing, but it's well worth the risk at 36. You're not going to get perfect prospects in the second round. At 35. You're not going to get perfect prospects in the second round. So if you can get someone that has a lot of tools that you're liking, then you say, what can I work on? Oh, just a shot. Oh, just this. Oh, just position. Oh, just da-da-da. So Trevon Brazile is a guy that a few tweaks and he could be a special player for the Nuggets. All right. Yeah, so that was 35 to the Nuggets, Trevon Brazile. I didn't mention that he's from Arkansas. 36, the Clippers selected Baba Miller. Big fan of that selection. I had him as an early second rounder, and he's originally from Spain. A lot of people may not have known that, but yeah, he was born in Spain, 6'11", Cincinnati, double-double, and he's a good shooter, 7 foot tall, pretty much, long athletic center, and I think he can get minutes for this Clippers team. The Clippers traded Zubac. You know, they drafted Yannick Konan Niederheiser the previous year, but he's hurt. He'll probably miss at least half the season. So Baba Miller could get some minutes for this Clippers teams. We will see. The Miami Heat selected Ryan Conwell at 37. Very, very good selection right there. Ryan Conwell, 6'4", from Louisville, averaged 19 and 5, 35% from three, was 40% for three as a sophomore and a junior. So you know he's a shooter. Strong guard, doesn't get pushed around, elite handle and crossover. And he's a guy that can compete for minutes from Miami. And I mean, you don't expect the second rounder to start. And Davion Mitchell is not getting off that court. He's not letting the rookie take his spot. But Ryan Conwell can come in and provide some offensive game for the Miami Heat and potentially see some minutes this year. 38, with the 38 selection, the Pacers selected Braden Smith, the very, very, very undersized point guard from Purdue. You know, I had him as slightly undrafted. I think I had him 63rd. He's a good player, but yes, Braden Smith, 6 foot, probably 5'11". All the other numbers are nice. He's leading assist man in college, but under 6 feet, it's tough to make that work. And the Pacers traded up to get him. He's an elite three-point shooter, elite passer. If he can get past being undersized and very skinny, then you may have something. It's to his advantage that he was selected 38th and not like 55th. So he will get an opportunity, but he's going to need some work on. He can't work on his height, but he can get bulkier, and maybe that'll help him out. 39, the Knicks selected Jack Kyle, the international guard. And you got to wonder if he's going to play this year or not, because they traded back like 5 times to take an international prospect that's not exactly ready, but he has shown some good potential, has some good signs, good shooter, nice handles, crafty player. But is he ready to play in the NBA? I'm not sure. And like with the cost-cutting moves they're making, they can send him overseas for a year. And we'll see about that. But Jack Kyle, he's a talented player. It's just, will he be coming over? Number 40, the Boston Celtics selected Dylan Mitchell. And he's a player that I had going undrafted from St. John, 6'8". I had him like 68th. You know, he only averaged 8.7 boards, 3 assists, and 1 steal per game. He's a great athlete, very active on defense, but not a shooter. Needs to develop that. You know, everyone may be looking for a trait in like Peyton Watson. So that's why he got drafted here at 40. But I don't think he deserved to be drafted here. Like I said, I had him going undrafted, but teams were drafting for fit in the second round. Now, number 41 on my list, the Oklahoma City Thunder selected Otega Oweh. Now, that is a great selection. You know, I've comped him a little bit to Lou Dort, 6'5", Bulldog from Kentucky, 18 points per game, 5 boards, solid shooter. He can shoot the three, just needs to keep working on it. But his defense, his tenacity is there. And I mean, you squint your eyes, you see Lou Dort, and he has a higher ceiling than Lou Dort, I believe. So the Thunder, if I didn't say Thunder, the Thunder selected Otega Oweh at 41, and I think that was really nice selection. They got that pick from the Warriors via the Heat. So it's a lot of trades, like I said. 42 on the list, the 42nd selection, the Spurs selected Jacoby Gillespie. And that is another prospect that is super undersized. And the teams didn't care this year. Normally, teams care about that a lot. And you see talented guys like Jacoby and Braden go undrafted because they're small. Jacoby listed at 6 foot, probably 5'11 as well, 175 pounds. That is just too small to play in the NBA. But 18 points per game, 5 assists, 2 steals, super fast, has some bounce to his game, can really create separation with his handles. So it's possible that he can get an opportunity. You know, the Spurs drafted him. You know, in the playoffs at times they were using veteran point guards that are journeymen. So it's possible. You know, we'll see. Jacoby Gillespie, like I said, if he was 6'3", 6'4", it would be not even a question. He wouldn't have made it to 42. It's all about the height. Number 43 on my list, the Brooklyn Nets. I keep saying on my list. The 43rd selection in the draft by the Brooklyn Nets was Tyler Bilodeau. And y'all know he was one of my favorite prospects in this class. I had him ranked at 34. Amazing shooter from UCLA, probably the best shooting big in this class, 46% from 3, 18 and 5 per game. They just don't like that he was not a shot blocker, but that's because he played all over the court. He can play the 3 or the 4. He's not just a 4 or a 5. He's a 3, 4, or 5. So he's a player that you want on the court in crunch time. Just work on a few tweaks, and I'm telling you, the Nets got a really nice pick here at 43 with Tyler Bilodeau. Like if he would have went at 23, I wouldn't have been mad at that. Now, 44, the Spurs are back on the clock, and they selected Malik Brown. I think this was a reach. I think it was a bad selection. 6'8" defender. I had him going he's like my 78th ranked prospect. 6'8" from Duke. Averaged 5 points and 5 boards per game. 2 steals. Love that, but not a shooter. No, not really a 3-point shot at all. Makes a lot of great defensive plays. Great team player. But he's essentially Giannis's brother, Thanasis. I mean, I don't know how that's gonna work, but I mean his body is right for defending. And the Spurs just, I don't know if they want to put him on Shea or something. That's not gonna happen. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Maybe they can develop him, and maybe 2 years they can get something out of him. 45 with the 45th selection, the Sacramento Kings selected Emmanuel Sharp. And the Kings were all over the place in this draft, but they did get some talented players. I had Sharp going undrafted because he's good, but I don't know if he's ready to contribute in the NBA. Very fast guard, probably be a combo guard in the NBA. But, you know, he only averaged 1.5 assists per game. He was a scorer, 15 points per game, 37% from 3. Great shooter, takes a lot of tough shots. But he's kind of like, that's what you do in college. How's that going to translate in the NBA? So that's why I had him going undrafted. But the talent is there. And like I said, it's probably 80 to 85 draftable players in this class. I have about 20 players that I ranked highly that were not drafted, or thought highly of that were not drafted. So Emmanuel Sharp made it in. Congrats to him. The 46th selection, the Wizards selected Felix Okpara. I really think that was a nice selection right there. I had Felix at 48. Now he's from Tennessee, 6'11", averaged 8 and 6 with 1.5 blocks per game. So, you know, the Wizards are getting a great backup big right there. You know, Sarr is out right now. Anthony Davis doesn't like playing center all the time. So he is a defensive monster. He even blocks 3-point attempts, protects the paint very well. Not really a shooter, but you got a defensive center right there for Washington. 47, the Knicks selected Tyler Nickel, and I had Tyler Nickel ranked at 47, ironically, from Vanderbilt. Only averaged 13.5 points per game, but shot 40% from 3 on over 7 attempts per game. So this is a great selection right here for a team that could use shooting. Who can't use shooting? But the Knicks especially, those 3-point shots can be coming in. That could get him on the floor, Tyler Nickel. And, Jordan is known for having a double nickel at at Madison Square Garden. So now they have Tyler Nickel to add to the championship Knicks. 48 on the list, the Dallas Mavericks selected Toby Lawal. The Mavericks were all over the place. I had him ranked 69th, 6'8", 4 from Virginia Tech, 12 and 8.5, 1 block per game. And great rebounder, excellent shot blocker, high riser, big time lob threat. He'll be fun out there, definitely, if he has a point guard like Kyrie that can give him the ball. He'll block your shot into the stands, moves great without the ball. He's an athlete that everyone wants, just not a shooter. But a defensive, a lot of people are drafting defenders in the second round. So he's a guy that will help your team out and be fun to watch, especially when they're on the fast break. Next on my list, another player I had going undrafted for the Nuggets at 49, Bryce Hopkins. I had him in the 90s. 6'6" from St. John, 13 and 6, 47% from the field, 36% from three. Good size, small forward, can get to the rack, score in a variety of ways, can play with his back to the basket, but his shot is a little slow, but it's effective. Not going to blow by you with speed, just does whatever it takes to get a bucket, but I'm not sure he's an NBA player yet. So I can't condone that pick. You know what I mean? But anyway, the 50th selection, the Raptors selected Jaden Bradley, and I can condone this pick. I had him ranked 54th, the 6'3" guard from Arizona, clutch point guard, winner, floor general, super underrated point guard. Great selection right there for the Raptors. They don't need a point guard. They have two, but why not have a third? Always good to draft the best player on the board. They felt they did that. There's still a guy that has slid, and we haven't mentioned yet. I'll get to him in a minute. And that was probably the biggest surprise of the night. But at 51, the Orlando Magic selected Isaiah Nelson. Very, very nice, big, from South Florida, 6'10", and he's a star at a small school, great lob threat and rebounder. It's just a matter of competition. Will he be able to compete with the guys that were at bigger schools? Like if he was at a bigger school, would he have been able to do 17 and 10 per game with 1.5 steal, 1.5 block? Possibly, or the numbers might have came down a tiny bit, but still valuable asset, nice to take at this point in the draft. And I think it's a great selection. Great, it's worth the risk for the Magic. And he could come in and develop and become a real asset for them. Now the Hawks selected at 52, Henry Visar from UNC. Finally, the slid ended at 52. Now Henry Visar could have been selected. I think I had him at 19. Going to the Raptors at 19. The Raptors could have got him in the second round and still passed on him. But there may be something medical or there may be something personality-wise. Because game-wise, there's no reason Henry Visar should have slipped to 52. The Hawks got a steal. The Hawks had an amazing draft class. Henry just fell in their lap. And, they needed a big. They got a big. They got a power forward and a big and a great point guard all in this class. So next episode, I'm either going to do sleepers or draft grades. But the Hawks are definitely up there with one of the best. 52 on the list, the Detroit Pistons selected Ugonna. And I always love this name, Ugonna Onyenso. So who are you going to pick? You're going to get Ugonna Onyenso. 6'11" from Virginia, another defender, 3 blocks per game and 18 minutes per game. Rim runner, lob threat, and he's going to replace Isaiah Stewart, who I mentioned was traded earlier. But nice selection from the Pistons at 53. 54, the Warriors selected LaJay Jones. And y'all, that's my guy. I had him ranked 40th. I was watching Bleacher Report's draft. They didn't even know who he was. So, first of all, that tells you all you need to know right there about Bleacher Report. And you need to be listening and watching into Sports Ethos and the All Rookie podcast, because I've had LaJay Jones 40th since I saw him. Florida State senior, 13-6, 1 steal, 1 block per game. Elite first step to blow by his man. Very athletic forward, and he can shoot the ball 39% from 3. So this is a steal for the Warriors at 54. He can get some minutes on this team. You know, politics come into play. When you're in the 50s, you're not necessarily going to get minutes. But game-wise, LeJay Jones is ready to go. Now, next on my list, the Clippers had the 55th selection, and they drafted Nick Martinelli. I had him going undrafted. I had him like 91st. So I don't love this pick, but in college, he was a beast. 23 points per game, 6 boards, 1 steal, but extremely difficult for him to score when he has the ball. I don't think it will translate in the NBA. It's very forced, takes a long time. Off the ball, he may be effective. He's a good cutter, good shooter, but I don't think he's an NBA talent. So that was my thoughts on Nick Martinelli. The Clippers felt differently. We will see. There are other players that they should have selected over him, in my opinion, a lot of them. But that's what they went with. That's what it's going to be. 56 on the list. Well, 56 selection. The Dallas Mavericks selected my guy, Vesvolod Ishenko from Russia, 21 years old, 9'5", fast and athletic guard, can play the 1-2 or the 3, 46% from 3, athletic. You don't see many Russian players with this type of athleticism and shooting. So he's a great prospect, especially for the future. The Mavs could have snuck a home run right here at 56. And another thing I will say, that same broadcast was making fun of this selection because they never heard this player either. I've had him ranked 60th since I've seen him. You can check my X/Twitter on at William is Bill. And it's just a shame watching shows that people don't know the players, like multiple players. Because I will say there's one player in this draft that I did not, it was 2 that I didn't know. And I scouted 150 players. So there were some reaches, but I mean, come on, guys. All right. And one of those guys was selected next by the Los Angeles Clippers, Narcisse Ngoy. They selected him. I've never heard of this young man. He is African descent. They drafted him to stash him. They're saying he's going to play at Auburn next year, which I think is totally ridiculous. Like, first of all, I hate stashing players that go back and play internationally. Now we're stashing guys that are playing in college. That is insane. That should not be allowed. It's taking a spot from a player that could have been drafted in this draft. It's a travesty. And, but Narcisse Ngoy, huge. He looks 8 feet out there. I mean, his wingspan is ridiculous. His height is ridiculous. He'll get the ball, just have it, palming the ball out, and just reach up and dunk it barely without jumping. I don't know how that's going to translate in NBA. He's very the opposite of smooth, rough, rugged, but he was the MVP in that league that he was in, but it's a lower league internationally. So we'll see what he does at Auburn. This could be a steal for the Clippers, but I hate that circumventing of the rules to stash a guy and then they play in college. That's ridiculous. 58, the Pelicans selected with probably the best pick in the whole class in this whole second round, him and Besar. The Pelicans selected Jaron Pierre, my 37th ranked prospect at, what are we at, 58? That's insane. And this was the only selection the Pelicans had. They nailed it. 6'5" from SMU. He is an older prospect, a 6-year senior, but there's reasons that he was a 6-year senior, but he's an excellent athlete and shooter. When you see him playing, he looks like a traditional shooting guard from when we were growing up, where you see them with the fadeaway jumpers like Michael Jordan used to do. Like he does all those traditional 90s shooting guard moves. Beautiful jump shot. Very smooth game. If he was younger, he definitely would be a first-round pick. I'm so glad the Pelicans took the risk on him at 58. And it's really no risk. I mean, it's just a tremendous selection right there. Now, 59, the Minnesota Timberwolves selected Trey Kaufman-Pierre. Trey Kaufman-Renn, he's a guy I had ranked 90th. 6'9", big, averaged 14 and 8, not a 3-point shooter. The year before, he averaged 20 points per game. But to me, Trey Kaufman-Renn is a system player. He does everything he's supposed to, always in the right spot, uses his body to score, but he's not athletic. He struggles to score a lot, has to work a lot, gets close as he can, throws up bad shots at times. I didn't think that was a good trait that's going to translate. And if he could shoot the ball from the outside, okay, maybe. But he can't do that. He's not a three-point shooter. So I think Trey Kaufman-Renn, it was a lot of other players you could have selected better than him. And finally, the Bucks selected Malik Lewis at pick 60. He's a guy that played internationally. I did not scout him either. I was like, that name sounds familiar. And that's because I scouted a Malik Ewing. So no Malik Lewis in the top 150. But, I mean, his tape does look pretty good. But the talk is he's not going to play and come over for the Bucks this year either. So that's probably why he wasn't ranked in the top 150. I wish teams would stop doing this. You cannot draft players and stash them. And a lot of times people will draft players, stash them, and they never, ever come to America, or they never play for that team that was drafted. And, I mean, it just really sucks, in my opinion, for guys that were not drafted. So I will tell you the players that should I got a list of players that should have been drafted. I think I'm gonna hit that on the next episode, the best undrafted players, because a lot of them are signing right now, like Jalen Sellers. I had him ranked 35th. I'll just go ahead and tell you he has signed a contract with the Chicago Bulls. Love that for him. And I'll do that in the upcoming shows. I'm either gonna do the best unsigned or the draft grades. I'll probably do draft grades next, then unsigned. But we made it, guys. The draft is over. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please hit me up. I'm talking about it here and there on Twitter, and it was just a very interesting draft. In my opinion, it went poorly as far as talent. Like, I don't know what these teams were doing. It was only probably 10 out of these 30 picks that I really could get behind, and that I think will translate very well to the NBA. First round, that was fine. Second round, it was kind of crazy, y'all. But let me know, did you guys enjoy the draft? Did you enjoy the second round? Do you feel like your team nailed it? Hit me up at William S. Bill. Follow us at Sports Ethos. Like, subscribe, the All Rookie Podcast. I appreciate your support. I'm staying up late every night for you guys to bring you this content. All I need is a like, comment, subscribe, okay? It's free. All right? Now, I appreciate y'all. Happy draft day. Glad we made it. And the off season begins. Peace.